Okay, so in theory, everything's recording. I have to check though. Ah, okay. We're good. We're being tracked, which sounds kind of creepy. We're being recorded. Microphone should be working. So I'm back. I did say in the last video that I would have like shorts, and I did get shorts, but today it's cooler and it's the morning time. It's more of the morning. So the camera or the phone itself shouldn't overheat. And yeah, it's currently 7:55 a.m. 7 being representative of divinity and good and bad luck. And 55 being a vibrational number. I know I talked about like 5 being like a number about like travel and stuff like that. But 5 is really just like a number of like vibrations. Like it's in the in between. 5 is like an earth number. It's like an air number too. But like earth and air, when you combine them, this makes no sense, but you get vibrations. But it makes sense in my own little way, in my own little gigantic way. But 55, I see 55 as like a vibrational number, like good vibrations. And if you think about like 5 and 5, like going like that, it's like a they're like vibrations, like tectonic plates, like shifting. But yeah, and all of these numbers, there's like little anecdotes that I could give you on like specific examples of when I saw 55, when it was like revealed to me that 55 was like a number of like vibrations. And like if you had like, for example, like 155, the beginning of like vibrations, or and then you would kind of determine if those were like good vibrations or bad vibrations based on your connection with the number. It's crazy because like if you think about like the Western zodiacal system, the Western astrology with like Leo and all those signs, we have well, I'm not we, but because like I'm not even like American, but like the Western zodiacal system, I'm a Leo, and in Vedic zodiacal, I'm a Cancer. So that like little shift in degrees, them being on like a different, like looking up at like a different angle, created like a whole different personality type for me. So like, and a lot of people are like, oh, if how am I a Leo? How am I a Leo? And how am I a Cancer? Like those are like kind of like polar opposites. Like one of them is like, well, not polar opposites, but you know what I mean? Like one of them is like super sensitive, like the Cancer, and then the other one is like super like Leo, right? Like super lion. And what it is like, so if I was born in that part of the world, then I would act more like a Cancer. But because I'm in this part of the world, I act more like a Leo. And I don't mean like born, but like even if I was traveling in that part of the world, I'd probably act more Cancer-like. And yeah, I'm kind of like going off on like a million different topics, so I have to like pick one. Let me pick one. What's a good one? I guess a good one would be the number 1. Let's talk about the number 1. I guess, no, I have an idea. I wanted to talk about like, because yesterday I made the video about like being a snake in the year of the snake. And then towards the end of the video, I talked about like the snake's enemy sign, which is the year of the pig, or no, people born in the year of the pig, or like the year of the pig, you know. But like, and I was giving people that were born in the year of the snake some pointers on like that they have to act more like their opposing sign. And do you realize how hard it is to focus on like speaking, looking at the gimbal to make sure it's tracking me, and like looking at the hoop, and then like it's so much. And I gotta check that too, because like hand gestures are off. But last time, yeah, we're good. Last time I did that, it like shut off the video, but we're good. We're good. I think it's still on. It's like, it's definitely still on. Should be good for another like 10 minutes of recording. The sun is coming out now. But yeah, let's talk about people that are born in the year of the pig, people that are in their Chinese zodiac, they're the pig, and how 2025, the year of the snake, is for them. So what it comes down to, basically, I talked about this a little bit in the other video, but it got cut off, and then I started over again, and then I didn't like jump to the part that I cut off on. But it's basically like Avatar, the Last Airbender. Aang he's an airbender, and the opposing element to air would be earth. So if Aang had just focused on being an airbender, and he didn't learn firebending, if he didn't learn waterbending, and most importantly, if he didn't learn earthbending, then he would have had an incredibly hard time with his final battle in the finale, where he uses all 4 elements to defeat, I believe, the gentleman's name, or not the gentleman, the villain's name is Ozai. So he would have had a really hard time beating a fire element with water, with air, with just air, because air obviously fuels fire. And, you know, that would have been like a world-ending battle. It could have been like a world-ending battle. But Aang was able to master his direct counterpart, his quote-unquote enemy sign. He was able to master the earth element. The earth is stable, air is everywhere, and it's going everywhere. It's cool too, is we were just talking about like vibrations and like air and earth, 55. And yeah, so if you're someone that, so like an example of this too is like, let's say I'm the fire nation and you're the water nation. Like you're a Pisces, I'm a Leo. What ends up happening is if me and you treat each other like enemies, and then like we don't like talk, we don't like, you know, share tips and tricks, we don't communicate, we see each other just as like foes. If the water nation comes to attack the fire nation, and I'm like just there, just chilling, and I've never spent any time on you know, water bending, what ends up happening is I get destroyed. The fire gets snuffed out, or like quenched or quelched or whatever the heck. But like, yeah, so like, but in turn, and the same applies to you, like if you hadn't learned anything about firebending, then the fire nation comes to attack you, the water nation, and you're just by yourself, just chilling, then you get annihilated, you get like burnt, you know, just the water, you just get evaporated. So, but on the other hand, if you taught me some water bending, I taught you some fire bending, when the water nation comes to attack and when the fire nation comes to attack you, then you can hold your own. You understand that, okay, I can use a little bit of water bending with my fire bending to create some boiling water and throw some scalding water at these people. You know what I mean? Or you can take your, yeah, like same applies to you. So like, and the beauty of this is, if you think about it, what is cooking? When you cook something, when you are using like heat, all right, still tracking me. When you're using heat, like, and you're using water, and you're making ramen, you can make like boiled eggs, but you need to master fire and water to cook delicious, amazing things. Two opposing elements, but in consort, they like chef's kiss, like literally. Um, the so yeah, this follows through. So like, if you're born in the year of the pig, you must master the year of the snake. You know, this is like a challenging year for you if you're born in the year of the pig, because the snake is a reptile. Snakes lay eggs. Snakes are like super instinctual. Pigs are mammals. Pigs, they're mammals. So they have like a stronger sense of like pair bonding, or like emotions, and like loyalty in a way. And they think more. They're less instinctual. They're still instinctual, but they're more emotional driven. You could say that like snakes would be like very fire element, and then pigs would be like closer to the water element. So when you have a snake and a pig, you know, it's kind of like it's like a hard thing to match, as far as like, you know, those two getting along. But what can the pig do to learn from the snake? And in my mind, it's this. So you can be, and I talk about this in the other video, but you can be different avatars of an avatar. You can be different versions of the pig. You can be the pig, obviously. You can be the boar. You can be a hog. And yeah, so it's like, you can be a pig, which is like kind of like in captivity, and it's like just feeding off of like what's, you know, or you can be a warthog. So it's like, you can be a pig and just eating, just be kind of like just penned up, just getting fed, just eating from a trough all day. And like, let's say that's like you go into like your 9-to-5 job, and you just like, you know, doing something like that. Or you can be like a hog, you know, or like a, you know, and then you can like shed your skin as a pig. And then this is what happens in nature, is if you take like a domesticated pig and you like set it free, or it like escapes and it goes into the woods, and in just a matter of months, it grows like tusks and it becomes like a feral hog. So the pig literally sheds its skin, it molts like the snake would into something that is more suited for its environment, that it's more able to hunt on its own and defend itself. So it literally becomes like a whole different animal, pretty much. Not a whole different animal, but like a whole different avatar of that, of like that animal. And that's what you kind of have to do as a pig in the year of the snake, is you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of things this year where you have to like shed your skin as like maybe a domesticated pig and go into a more feral state, go into a state where you have your tusks out. You know, if this happens in like, you know, families, this happens in like relationships, this happens at work, if things are getting like competitive at work. It's also applicable in the inverse, where if you're a hog or like a warthog and you're like, you got tusks, you're super aggressive, and then like, let's say like this year you had a baby, or you became a father, you know, and you have to understand that like you have to be domesticated. You have to like domesticate yourself. You have to, you know, feed from that trough of like emotional support and like your family. Oh, but you get it. The thing too is like, so pigs And I was saying this about the people of the year of the snake. People of the year of the snake have to be greedier, and be more like the pig. The pig has to learn from the snake and be less greedy and be more cunning, because a pig will just eat whatever is in front of it. Whatever is in front of it, because pigs are the like symbolic of gluttony. They'll just eat just for the heck of it. Right? That's all they get, like all pig like. And you have to be more selective with what you're eating, with what you're consuming. That can be food, that can be content, that can be the people that you're around, relationships. The snake is an animal, it's like a predator. The snake has to be selective about what it consumes, because if the snake tries to swallow or tries to consume an animal that is too big for it, if it becomes too gluttonous, too greedy, the snake will just like split in half. If it's trying to digest that, it'll die, right? So, and it grosses me out like even thinking about it. But you have to understand that snakes are very cunning. The year of the snake is going to be a year where you can get really like sort of like blindsided. You can be put in like a pig pen. You can literally be put in like a little pen, and someone can be cunning and like shift you from like a feral hog to like a domesticated pig. And yeah, you got to understand that. You got to understand that. You got to be more selective about like, your consumption of like social media, like the kind of content you're consuming. If you're just like doom scrolling, then you're being like gluttonous with your attention. There's a couple more things I want to touch on. No idea how long this is so far. I'm like estimating like 12 minutes. The people born in the year of the pig should understand. Oh my gosh, it's still tracking me? Not that it lose me? It is still tracking me. What a beautiful little piece of technology. I don't know when I'm gonna just get used to this, but for right now, I'm only like 7 videos in. This is like the 8th video, so just bear with me. And that's also analogous to like the pig is analogous to the bear a little bit. The bear will like be gluttonous and just eat like all the blueberries it can, all the salmon it can, very gluttonous, and then just go hibernate in its cave. So understand that too. Like that, you can be like a person born in the year of the pig, but act like a bear, act bearish in that, in like your finances and like your investing. And really, the other one I wanted to touch on is exactly that, finances. So I said this a little bit yesterday, but people in the year of the pig, born in the year of the pig, they tend to be able to like have a very strong concept of like the piggy bank, or have a very bad concept of it, and they smash the piggy bank every time they get like some money in it. So I know a few people born in the year of the pig that are very wealthy, and they're literal piggy banks, but sometimes they're like gluttonous in their work, so they tend to be like workaholics. So they're greedy. They just want more and more and more and more and more. And then they work more and more and more, and then they like have this big piggy bank, like for what? So yeah, understand that like The year of the snake, the year we're in, now that's not going to be fun to go get, is about, it's about shedding your skin, molting, becoming something new, transformation. I'm not telling you to like go out there and like watch Transformers, but in theory, probably wouldn't hurt. But yeah, work on your finances. Hey. Work on stay gluttonous, stay greedy. If you're born in the year of the pig, you're greedy, bro. Nothing wrong with that. You can be greedy about working out. You can be greedy about eating really good. There's people that I know that are, you think of like the year of the pig people, and people think like, oh, the year of the pig. You tell them, I tell people, oh, you're born in the year of the pig. And they get all, ugh. They get all, oh man, born in the year of the pig. Yeah. You know, people, why can't I be born in the year of the dragon? Why couldn't I be born in the year of the bull? Why can't I be born in the year of what's another cool one? You know, oh, there's a lot of them. Like, but people, they get like a little, ugh. Like you think about pigs being like dirty, pigs being like covered in mud. But bro, it's not like that. A lot of people that are born in the year of the pig that I've met have been like some clean freaks. They've been like clean freaks. And I've told these people, hey, what you actually need to do is you need to go to like a spa and do like a mud bath. And you need to get dirty, get filthy. Ugh. Yeah, I told you from the beginning I wasn't good. Now that's just embarrassing. See, this was the exact moment yesterday, like a situation like this, where I was going to get the ball in this direction and the video cut off. And what we'll do is I'll teach you something right now. This is called greed. What's happening right now is greed. The sun was over there. The sun is now over here. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. This phone is going to overheat. And I'm getting greedy because I am gluttonous about how I like to talk. So I'm going to take 3 more shots and then that's going to be it. Oh, I don't have like proper form. I tried out for the basketball team when I was younger. And then the only reason they wanted me on the team was because I'm like taller. And this is in middle school. And I like literally was so unathletic that I like sprained my ankle kind of like midway through the tryouts. But I'm the type of person where I have grand potential. Which is crazy to say, but it's like totally true. And I used to like have this basketball and I would like go around and everywhere I saw a basketball hoop, I would shoot some baskets. Oh, I said 3. That's it. So careful with gambling. You're the pig people. Careful with your finances. Careful with your greed, emotional greed, being greedy of your partner's time, being greedy of the time that your child spends away from you. Just being greedy, bro. Stay greedy. That is your superpower. Like think of another thing, 755. Think about one of the 7 sins is gluttony. So like gluttony can be like a bad sin and gluttony can be like a blessing. If you're gluttonous in your care for others, if you're gluttonous in your self-care. So understand that. And yeah, I'm gonna now, okay. There we go. So I'm gonna go do other stuff now. I was gonna do like, oh, look, 25 minutes. Woo. I was gonna do like 6 hours of cardio today on the treadmill because the plan is to stop smoking. I smoked like the last one. And yeah, I have to be accountable because as you saw in the last videos, I was smoking in those last videos. So it's gonna be interesting to not, but let's get it. Have the best day, pig.